Okay then my friends, now we've got the starter project up and running and we've got a Firebase backend connected to the project. Let's start adding some AI features using Firebase AI Logic. So the first thing I want to do is work on this personalities page, which lets you use to test out the different AI personalities before actually saving an entry. So when we add some text into this form and submit it, it doesn't actually save anything to the database. And what we'll be doing instead is using the Firebase AI Logic SDK to send a prompt to a Gemini model to glorify the text using whatever personality the user selects. And then that generated text gets sent back to us so we can render it on this page. So it's a way for users to try the different personalities and see the kinds of generated text that we get before they actually go ahead and add a journal entry. To do this then, the first thing we need to do is head to our Firebase project and enable the Firebase AI Logic service by coming to the AI services link in the menu and then selecting AI Logic. And then on this next page, we need to click on the Get Started button. Now, when we do that, we get two options right here. We can use the Gemini Developer API or the Vertex API. I'm going to select the Gemini Developer API because we can get started with that at no cost. And when we do that, we just need to enable this API by clicking this button, and that's going to take just a moment or two. Once it's done, we can uncheck this monitoring option if we want to, and then click on Continue. And then finally, it tells us we need to add the Firebase AI SDK to the project, which we're going to do in a moment. So we'll click on Continue again. And that's it. Now we've enabled Firebase AI Logic for this backend, and we can use it from the front end. Just one other thing very quickly that I want to mention is this app check warning right here, which is actually really important if you ever come to deploy your applications, because when you enable app check, it locks down access to these backend services for your project to only your domain. Without app check, anyone who manages to get your Firebase config object could access your services from their own applications, and that would affect your usage and costs. So definitely enable app check if you plan on deploying your applications. For this demo app and tutorial, we don't need to. It's a little beyond the scope of the series, but I do plan on making a video about it in the future. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in our application code is to initialize the Firebase AI service, which we can do in the Firebase setup file. So in here, we're going to set up the service, much like we did the other ones down here. And to do that, we'll need to import a couple of things from the Firebase library. And by the way, the Firebase package was listed in the package.json file. It was already installed when we ran the npm install command in the first lesson, which installed all the dependencies, right? So that's why we're not having to now install the package manually. It's already done for us. Anyway, we need to import a few things from Firebase now. So at the top, let's say import and then curly braces, and we want three things. First, we want to import a function called get AI, which allows us to enable the AI service. Then we need to import something called get generative model, and that lets us initialize a connection to a particular AI model using the service. And then finally, we need to import a class called Google AI Backend, which we use to tell the Firebase AI module that we're going to be using a Google AI backend to handle the prompts and the requests, if you like. Okay, so they all come from Firebase/AI. All right, so now we've imported everything. Well, let's come down here and initialize the AI service by saying const AI is equal to get AI, which we just imported, and then we invoke this. And as an argument, we pass in the app instance, which we created already using initialize app up here. And then as a second argument, we pass an object with a backend property. And this is where we tell the Firebase SDK what backend or AI provider to send requests to. In our case, that is going to be a new Google AI backend, which we imported, and we invoke this. By the way, if you chose the Vertex option when you enabled Firebase Logic, or Firebase AI Logic, I should say, this would be a Vertex AI backend instead. All right, so next we need to initialize a model and export it so that we can use it within other files in this project. So let's come down here then, where we export all these different things, and we're going to type export const, and I'll call this constant model, and then we'll set that equal to get generative model, which we imported, and we want to invoke that. Now, this time as an argument, we pass in the AI instance we just created as a first argument, yeah, followed by an object as a second argument. And it's inside this object we can configure some options for working with this model. So the first option I'll customize is the model itself by adding the model property, and I'm going to set that equal to the model that I want to use, which is going to be Gemini 3.5 Flash. You can use a different model if you wish. Next up, I'm going to add a property called generation config, which is an object in itself. And inside that object, we can configure how the model generates a text response for us. Now, there's a bunch of different properties you can add to this object, and you can find all those on the Firebase docs. But the one I want to use is the max output tokens property, which lets us set a limit as to the number of tokens used by the generated response. If we don't set this, we're basically giving the AI model free rein to make the response messages as large as they're able to. So instead, I like to set this, for example, to 1000, and that means the model will use no more than 1000 tokens on the response text. All right, cool. So we've set up the service both on the back end and now in our application. And now we can start using this model in our different components to send a prompt to the model, get a response, and then render that response in the browser if we want to. So we're going to start that in the next lesson.